Good morning, everyone. This is Ramblin' Randy from the deep piney woods of East Texas. It is 10:20 a.m. here, and it is a little cloudy and going to get a little rain this afternoon. As you can see on the screen, I'm back in the saddle here. I thought I'd do a little recording. I'm picking up a few new folks that are watching this channel, and I've expressed to them this is not what we're not building on this here. This is mainly little videos I do for inside people. I put them up on YouTube so that they have a place they can go and watch. These are close friends of mine and other researchers that are either contributing to or I get feedback from. And there's been a few new people that are starting to watch these videos. I will clean up a little bit of my language, and I won't be as harsh on the evangelical Christian group here, as which I am one of. But I have a lot of thoughts and things that are a little different than mainstream Southern Baptists. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic for another day. What you're looking at here on the screen, I've got a couple devices going, and I'll turn one down so that I can show you this on the screen. This is happening on C-SPAN, and let me see if I can scroll this down there. C-SPAN. And it's live. It is the House Coronavirus Task Force, and talking about the as best we can to try to pry what they consider to be their truth, and then we run it through our critical thinking and decision-making process and come up with what we consider to be factual and what we'll carry as our truth. That's what takes place every day, whether people realize it or not, when you're going through your decision-making process. And that's what we're attempting to do with our project. We're creating an app, where you can hold in your hand on your device, and our members of our community, the Global Reset Society, Friends of Paul Revere, and Us We Trust News, the Rabbit Hole Herald, and many, many other sites will all be culminating onto this app. And what we do is we're researchers, and we're people that live life on life's terms and how we're experiencing it, and we share that amongst ourselves. That is our news. There are people that we will be bringing into our community that I'll introduce to you that are what I call influencers. They're YouTubers, they're people in the finance world, they're people in the GMO world, people in the chemtrail world, there's people in the vaccine world, all of us combined should be in the get rid of the Fed world. If you want these problems to be mitigated and controllable, get rid of the U.S. dollar, the white piece of paper with ink on it, forever and a day. Throw it in the hole, put lime on it, cover up with dirt, and put a cap on top of that thing. It is evil. Usury is evil. There is a need for people to receive extra money from outside parties, but at a fair exchange of value if there is interest involved. But usury, as the Federal Reserve fractional reserve banking system has been fleecing us forever and a day since it started. And so it culminates into where you have fiat money, which really doesn't exist. It's just based on the good faith of the American people. Our faith in our government is getting pretty shaky, so that means so is that damn dollar. So is that dollar, in my humble opinion. Redfield here, we'll go back and we'll look at and listen to what's going on here on this open hearing and find out. We'll get data from our members. And our members, if you become a member of our community, then if you say something that is of value, and others, we may have 1 million people that are members, and they all will be exposed to this content at one point or the other. That's going to be our culture. We follow these things. And if someone finds some research that really that the bulk of our community was looking for, and they posted on our social platform called the Rabbit Hole Herald, then you would be able to receive, the person who posts that content would be able to receive a token of appreciation, cha-ching, cha-ching, from all of our members. And they could do that based on how it moved them to the tune of a penny, nickel, dime, or quarter, instead of a like, thank you, and out of there. See, the like, thank you, and out of there, Facebook, Twitter, and the likes thereof, they use those instant gratification tools to keep people coming back. It creates dopamine in your mind, and you get accolades from it. And people are addicted to these things, and they even come back and they see they got one of those little bubbles that says you have someone noticed you, a notification. There is dopamine that goes off in your body, and you've been accepted and honored in your peers. My foot. They hit that little like button. There's no skin off their nose. They don't have anything involved. They didn't put their essence into saying, I like it. But with our platform, it's pure, it's real, and people are putting, as they say on the street, their money where their mouth is. When someone likes something, they are infusing their self, a representation of them, into that comment, saying, yes, I resonate with you. I'm on the same page, and here's a piece of me that I've worked with this energy. It's called energy. Money is nothing more than energy. A little piece of paper, gold, silver, all that. It's where we store all this work that we've done, and people give us little tokens in various forms that we like and we know other people like. That's money. Anything that you can exchange that has value recognized by another to get something that you want is money. I don't care what you say about it. Okay? But it has value in the eyes of the two people making the transaction. And if the transaction is fair, the deal's done, it's over, ever in a day it's gone, don't bring it up again, you know, that kind of deal. We wouldn't have these problems in the world today if everything's based on a fair exchange of value. So that's what our platform does. It enables the small person who thinks that their life or their experience doesn't matter. Well, it does. If you are a member of our community and you do research like I do, and you see what I'm doing here, or if you fish, you know, you catch 45-pound catfish in the river, you put that up there, it's going to make someone smile. By God, how much is a smile worth? If you're having a bad day and you're on our social platform and you see something like that cat put up that big old catfish, my friend Robbie, it put up and it made you smile. What was that smile worth? Would you give them a penny, a skinny little old penny, for that picture that made you smile? Yes, our culture says if you gain value from any one of our members, then you reciprocate with a small token of the value that you gained. If that picture made you smile and you equate that smile to say $1's worth of smile, then flip him a penny, a nickel, dime, or quarter, a portion of the value that you feel that you gained. I'm using that as an example just to give you an example. Look at Rand Paul. My God, he looks like Grizzly Adams. You know, they're wearing that out. You know, them cats that got their own private person cutting their hair up there probably did Rand's like that. By God, he looks good. Who's that behind him back there with that mask on? Has this not been crazy? Has this not been crazy? Is this not? I mean, what do you think the odds of us, or what do you think the odds of Trump or Putin or Xi or any of these people saying, hey, I'm going to close the whole world down. Watch me. It'd be impossible. But the black magic did it. They did it with fear. I'm not saying this virus isn't killing anybody. Hell, my heart started hopping around last night. I ran a temperature up to about 100, and I said, this is it. Elizabeth, this is it. This is the big one. Y'all remember Red Fox. But I lived through it. Imagine that. The upright Homo sapien is a creation from our Creator. And I'll assure you that we have onboard equipment that can fight anything that comes down the line if it's a fair battle. As long as you got good equipment on you. Now, if you got a bad ticker, you got a bad liver like me, you got bad lungs, you got whatever, then you're not going to be as strong as you would be in any battle, much less fighting a virus. They really don't know what viruses are. They're not living organisms. They're strands of content. Is that amazing? So if they're strands of content, it would mean that if you're able to understand these viruses, you might could program one. Now let me ask you a question. Let me just ask you a question. Why in the hell does Bill Gates want to use, maybe he didn't tell anybody, we found this out. Why does Bill Gates want to have glyphosate in that vaccine? Glyphosate is the active compound inside of Monsanto's Roundup weed killer and they use it in GMO manipulation of seeds. What glyphosate will do is it will cause the seed or the cell that goes in and it blows a hole in the side of the cell wall and enables that data strain, that content, the virus, to go inside of that cell and reprogram the RNA. I know this is getting a little heavy for you, maybe some of y'all, but we're altering the genetic structure, the DNA structure of the upright Homo sapiens sapien. Now here's what happens to the corn and other seeds that Monsanto has manipulated is that they are neutered. Means that that seed is only good for 1 year. You have to buy more seed from Monsanto if you want a crop next year. Oh, and like Paraguay, in places like that in other countries, and here in our country as well, these farmers, Monsanto will give them all these little perks and things to buy seed from them. But guess what? They destroy their property, their crop, because their crop will no longer create seed that they used to use to replant next year. You got to buy corn seed from Monsanto. It's only good for 1 year. So let's look at that. If Paraguay or one of these other little countries, or the U.S. for that matter, are a bad little country and don't do what the whoeverness is, they'll just cut their seed off, just like they did the Indians at Wounded Knee. You see, they couldn't kill the Indians. Same spirit that was running through those elites back then are running through our globe today. It goes on. And, what they did is they couldn't kill the Indians with regular battles, so what they did is they put a bounty, just like the Monsanto thing, except different, put a bounty on all plains animals, high plains animals, buffalo, deer, elk, all that stuff, and starved out the Indians into submission, and they shot them all, men, women, and children, at Wounded Knee. Isn't that something? So we'll learn a lot of history. Was that worth a penny? Hear that? Hope so. If one of our members said that and it caused you to pause, flip them a penny, nickel, dime, quarter. Now look at this. You could have someone out there anywhere that's starving to death, or barely making ends meet. And they put up a picture, write an article that is profound, but moves someone emotionally, causes enough people to get excited. It could be any one of us, and everybody see it, love it. They could flip someone a quarter. 1 million people, flip a quarter. No skin off your nose. How much is that? 1 million times a quarter? What's a $250,000? You getting the picture? Getting the picture there, homie? Plus, you're getting dadgum good content in uswetrustnews.com. Are you with me? You with me? Because if you're with me, I'll assure you, my life journey is a montage of things, and it's all been put together. And my new friend that's listening to these videos into a mosaic that will it's got meat on the bone. It does. And in this little app, I put my entire life into this thing. As in Texas 2-card hold'em, I'm all in. I'm all in. I want to do my part. Even though I may be an old 60s redneck hippie from the oil field, I love this country. I love the way of life here. I want it to continue. And I'm at that age where I can say and mean it for my kids and my grandkids. I've heard that all my life. Good God. Well, now it's our time to stand up. If you still got a breath of in you, if nothing else, come up and support people. All we're asking people to do is throw a little bit of jingle into their own account with us. And when something moves you, throw a penny, nickel, dime, or quarter. Now, get yourself up and go over there and start telling, and put your 2 cents worth in. Make a comment. If you're a lady out there and you're sitting at home and you think that you're not doing your part to help, start commenting, make friends, build a community. Bunch of blue hairs get together, a couple, 300 of you, and just sit there and swap lies all morning together. Throw penny, nickels, dimes, and quarter at each other. Have fun and learn. Now, when someone says something in one of the little pods, it gets a lot of little clicks, we'll call them, little tips or little tokens of appreciation. We're going to spot that here topside. And when you do that, the ones throughout our whole community of millions of people, hopefully, you're going to help me get those millions. We will pay you tokens of appreciation to go out and find us other members. That's value to the community. Are you with me? As we grow to a million mind movement and more, every time someone goes out and finds a new person that comes in and joins with us, then it helps the whole community, because that's additional, we'll call it energy that's raised, capital money that's raised into the overall potential of our community. So if you've got 1 million people, let's just use an example, and they themselves choose to put in, let's say, $30 into their little account with us each month. I don't want any of it unless I have value that they see. They allocate that themselves. I don't tell them to do it. It didn't go into some. They support other people in our community, YouTubers that have been disqualified, that have been demonetized, like Sean on SGT Report, and hundreds of others that have been blocked. They use the monetization of YouTube, which a lot of these influencers, they rely on that for their revenue stream for their families and to get out this real truth that they see. They've demonetized them. They have weaponized YouTube content. What we're doing, and they've demonetized those sites. We have the ability with someone like SGT, if I can just get through to him, help me get through to him. If you find SGT or someone like that on YouTube, or anyone that has a large audience, and they blast this out to the audience, their audience, to become members of the Silent Supporter Society, anything that those members, when those members become members, his members see our value and they join with our community, that influencer will get a large percentage of their monthly commitment, because they are their connection to the river. The river? What's the river? Some people call it the Holy Spirit, the divine, whatever. I call it the river. It's the firmament. It's our river of content that we've all got. You can go to that river with a coffee cup and get a coffee cup full. River never runs dry. That's river of truth, never runs dry. Our members continuously put stuff in the river. You can go to the river looking for it with a coffee cup and get a coffee cup. You can go to the river with a wash tub and get a wash tub full. Or you can go to that river and back in there and get a tanker truckload full. The river will not run dry. Just go spread the truth. Don't worry about the mule. My daddy used to say, just load the wagon, son. The mule's going to be fine. What I mean by that, don't worry about how much you're going to pack in your purse. Just go out there and find people, spread the word, because you love this country, not because how much you're going to make. If we don't turn this thing around, what you're seeing right there on TV, believe you me, Bill Gates wants to put 666 on your wrist. Or give you a card that qualifies you, says you've been vaccinated. If you've been vaccinated, guess what? Your cells have been penetrated, and now they can get any virus, CVO 20, CVO 21, CVO 22. It doesn't make any difference. They can go in there and reprogram you. Sounds bizarre. Orwellian, they call it. Oh, gosh. You know, little did the people that made the movie cartoon that I used to watch, barefooted, sitting on Saturday morning, Flash Gordon, when he nosedived that trash can deal with a point on top of it, it's supposed to be his spaceship, into the moon, he stepped out of there and shot an alien with a ray gun. Little did we know that most of us just went on down the road, became little citizens. But a lot of people didn't forget about that ray gun, forget about that spaceship. They kept thinking about it as they get older and older and older. Where attention goes, energy flows, and that's the seed of manifestation. Bingo, we got Star Wars. People, I'm not kidding you. Where attention goes, energy flows, that's the seed of manifestation. For God's sake, quit thinking about this scary stuff, because I'm starting to see it around town. You with me? How else did it get here? So they tell us that coronavirus is going to kill you. Stay at the house. For God's sake, when you're at the house, you're going to get sick. If someone's got, and your family's got the CV, they got the scurvy, they got the CV-19, and you don't know it. No granny in there that you brought in here to save her backside. She's as good as gone. You need to have Granny out there. I had a son one time, my last one, I believe. No, it's Colton Randall. He come out yellow. You know, he come out with jaundice. And I'm not kidding you. What did they tell us to do? Take him home and put him in the windowsill. I am not kidding you. And I said, do what? And so when they have this thing called jaundice, they turn yellow. They're yellow, and you stick them in the windowsill so they can. I guess they can, ripen a little bit more, or they put them under ultraviolet light. Now let me tell you something about this virus. When I was growing up in the nursery at Highland Park Baptist Church on 259 in Kilgore, Texas, they had a purple light in that nursery with the kids, about 3 of them, killing them germs. They're saying that this right here can kill them germs, that virus right there. You think they're going to use that? Heck no. Okay, also in Vietnam, when I was in Vietnam, they'd hit us with that quinine. It was hydrochloroquine, whatever the stuff is they're using now. It'd kill anything. You know, it will embarrass Mr. Clean. You know, borax. You know, this quinine stuff is serious business, but it could do the deal. I used to get it when I was little. You know, Dr. Tishna had a little bit of quinine in it. Go do some research. This stuff ain't new. And they're sitting there trying to say, it's unproven. Well, they probably had the squirts when they were little if they're old enough and they got some quinine. Good God. What's going on, people? Let me get on point here, for God's sake. Anyway, here's what's going on today. This is total chaos. What we need to do is just get our group together. In us we trust news, and it'll be coming out real soon. If you will, down here at the bottom below me here, there's a little, if you're already not a member of this channel, tell everybody in the world to come over here and join this channel. I'm not monetizing this thing. That's silly. But it is a means by which I can get content and information out to you. On our new app, we'll be able to review, we'll be able to make videos, we'll be able to take YouTube videos, put them on our site. They will not be able to censor our content. I'll have the key to the gate, or our leadership crew will have the key to the gate. And I take nothing from this. There is a donation that every member does to the platform for its ongoing creation. We have a phase 2 and 3. Minimal, but everybody contributes. This platform itself is probably the journey that it took to get here is $250,000 what it costs. It's a gift. And so the donation is nothing more than a paying it forward thing in segments. You know, there isn't any massive getting super wealthy on this end of the deal. It would take 10 million, you know, or so, because there's so much more that we have to do to make this this whole thing viable. This is designed for one thing and one thing only: to get the truth out to people and to put money in your pocket. 2 things. What we need is knowledge, numbers, and that will equate into prosperity. Knowledge and numbers. Commitment will turn into a good thing for the upright Homo sapien, for those people who love our country and are patriots. I will say this: one of the things that people will do to qualify to be one of our in our community is you're going to have to write a 4 or 5 paragraph, good little healthy paragraphs, on how you feel about this country, the Constitution, the rule of law, and the Bill of Rights. Just 4 or 5 little paragraphs. You'll submit them to our community. Our community will vote on those. And they vote with their purse. And so you're coming over from out of nowhere, free. You post your deal, we vote on them, and you're going to get these little tokens of appreciation. When, as a guest, you'll be capped at a certain amount of cheese that you can render out of that. But as a member, if what you said on those 4 or 5 are voted and they end up to where you receive, these are tax-free gifts, by the way. Oh, God. Oh, boy. That's something, isn't it? So if 1 million people see your little thing that you wrote and they all flip you a penny, that's 10 grand tax-free. That also, we're going to compile 200 or 300 of these 4 or 5 paragraphs from each individual, written from their heart, about what they feel about our country, the Constitution, the rule of law, and the Bill of Rights, as well as the sadness that they feel of what's going on now. And then we're going to compile that into a hardback book, and we're going to title it "Dear Mr. President." the voice of the people. And we're going to send one to the president and everyone in Congress. And you, forever and a day, will be etched in history for being one of those that stood up, faced the evil of the globalists, and stared them down with power, and not a shot fired. Amen. Give me an amen. Give me an amen. What they want us to do is get us all upset and fired up, like behind my on the other side of this wall, my son, he wants to grab that AK-10, big cannon on his shoulder, and go, hey, Johnny, get your gun. I was in on that scam. I got caught up in Johnny, get your gun. I didn't want to get no gun. I was a hippie, but I didn't want to carry no gun, so I joined the Navy, and good God, was that ever jumping out of the frying pan into the fire. Don't tell the Navy you like to swim. Just don't do it, especially if you're a good swimmer. Oh, jeez. Whoo! I let that lay. I threw lime on that, put dirt on it. Goodness gracious. But let me move on over here and show you something. This man right here, I am so terribly proud of this man right here. Dr. Rashad. Let me go to his channel. That's Dr. Rashad Buttar. He is a medical doctor. They're throwing everything in the book at him. They're trying to say he's a sleazeball, that he's been sued. He's been had fraud cases against him. That they after his license, he's not a real doctor. That is all false, fake news. And he explains it all to him. Why? Because he's confronting the FDA, the CDC, about their evilness that they're doing, how they're teaming up with Bill Gates and other globalists to get control of it. God, I know it sounds crazy, people. It does sound crazy. But to get control of this damn planet, and you too. I'm not kidding you. It appears that way. Let's get our heads together here, because, my God, that's a big mouthful to say that someone's trying to control the world through vaccines and stuff. But, by God, once you get close to this fire and you learn the truth, let me tell you, I close every one of these shows with this, and I'll put it in here midstream now. Once a person who has been honest and mistaken all of their life learns the truth, they either cease to be mistaken or they cease to be honest. What say ye? We're going to lay the truth on you. You're going to be staring at yourself in the mirror, and you're going to say, am I going to tell the truth? Or I'm going to blend in like everybody else and have cognizant dissonance. You know, where you turn a blind eye. Go over and do the dirty work. Let me turn my head. When I come back, go, oh, look, it's changed. I want to slap people like that. But anyway, I wrote a book back in 2007 called The Two Sides of Silence. I think that if someone knows that they can help another person sit silently by and do nothing, that's treasonous by proxy. On the other side of the coin, of the silent coin, silence is where I get my power in prayer and meditation, in the silence of my mind. So silence has two sides, the two sides of silence. Apocalyptic or doves. That's what the title of the book cover is. I also wrote a book same year called Reverse Fractional Banking, a Fair Exchange of Value. That's basically what I've created here, is an accounts payable system just like the Federal Reserve has, except this time the Federal Reserve, fractional reserve banking, they take your deposits, they hypothecate it, or they multiply it times 10 its value, and they loan out stuff that doesn't exist. That is an MLM, a Ponzi scheme, because that fake money has no value behind it. None, zero, zip, nada. But we even pay interest to something that doesn't exist when you take out a loan. They're giving you something that doesn't exist, and they're charging you something that doesn't exist called digits. And then your house is on your house if you don't pay those digits back with your hard assets that are backed by energy or work. Everything has to start with work. And then you lose your house because you didn't pay the fake digits back behind the fake digits that they loaned you, but you went out and busted your backside, come up with real value, real energy, real money, and you've been paying on it, but you couldn't keep it, and then you lost your house because you couldn't pay for your fake digits. Is that insane? It is insane. It is insane. So come over here and take a listen to him. He's great. Listen to this.
Literally, this friend of mine, his friend's son that committed suicide, they put down COVID-19 as a cause of death, and he killed himself. That's the third person that I know of that have contacted me where a family member committed suicide because they've been depressed in the last 2 months, that has been attributed to COVID-19. Does the media report that? So you know the corruptness of the media. All right. Now, I have a couple of announcements gone.
Okay, let me do
to
this.
AskDrButtar.com/ask, and you've gone in and...
The doctor has a real big campaign that he's going to do. I'm going to be a part. I'm going to go to the convention thing. As many of you can go. I'd love for you to go. And I'm going to have to hurry and get back over here to watch this hearing. But this is a great guy to watch also and to follow. Over here on YouTube, I follow very closely YouTube, and I have different folks that I follow. And I want to show y'all some that I do. One of them is X22, and you need to become a member of these. Here's one first of all coming down the list. Here's John B. Wells. John B. Wells is an old rock and roller that was on Coast to Coast AM, and that's where I spotted him over there. He's a very, very great truth advocate, and John B. does great. Greg Reese is also someone that you need to follow closely. And this is HR 666 is coming out, and you need to follow this. Our community will keep you abreast of these things. We can be your complete news source. The one I was referencing a lot is Rex Bear of the Leak Project. Rex has a very wide scope of content that he teaches on. Everything from flat Earth, hollow Earth, the moon, all that stuff, and patriotic stuff. And it is a great, great, great source of content. We'll be covering a lot of Rex, and we'll be supporting Rex a lot as well. Let me see another one here that we can look at real quickly because I'm running long. I want to try to keep these videos down to a minimum, but you can see them here. I want to go to let me see the good. Here's SGT report. Very, very powerful patriot here. X22. He's a Johnny Get Your Gun. You know, he's getting ready to light them up if they don't do something quick. So X22, you'll hear me bring in a lot of his content that we'll be supporting if you find it to have value. And let me do a couple more, then I'm going to let you go. I'm going to get back on here. Good place for weather. Suspicious Observer. Common Sense with Dave is good. And Next News is being driven off of YouTube. They're taking a different direction. David Icke is great. But let me get down here to X22, and then I'm going to close out. This is Dave over at X22, another great influencer. Folks, look at me. If you can see this, that's 743,000 subscribers. Help me get him. I'm trying to reach him as well. They're very hard. You got to get into their comment section and say, would you please comment? We want to support you, all this kind of stuff. If you can land them, and I feel that it's worth half of everyone's commitment that this person, Dave, here at X22, if he has 743,000 people, if we were to just capture, let's say 20% of them, that'd be 140,000 people. Let's say that they all did what normal, what would be average about 30,000 commitment. Remember, they're not paying for something. They're just putting 30 in there to give away to people that they want to support, not me, that they want to support. If it's something different than what I've been showing, they need to bring that source back to us so we can also get their value. That we can also follow that party that they're following if they create value and they're patriotic. So 140,000 people, if you were to find Dave over here and get him to become a silent supporter, is what we're called, and join our community, and everyone supported Dave would get 100 a lot. Just do the math here. This is how much Twitter and them people make, is that he would get half of the commitment of everyone out there. Why? Because he's that important. Influencers that important. I'm not concerned about the profit now. I want the people's minds. I want to have a lot of mind hive decision making. be able to have a collective consciousness, and I'll explain all that to you. It's very powerful because George Soros, if he wants to, or any of those people, if they want to stir something up in Seattle, we're having a keg party over here, college kids. Go out and beat out some windows, and we're going to pass out a little wet T-shirt contest and a keg party. Well, if we see that that's going to happen, one of our members says they're doing that over here in Seattle. We say we're going to have 2 kegs and 4 wet T-shirt contests, and we could all flip a penny, nickel, dime, quarter to the person spearheading in Seattle, and we could counter that attack. We could find out that someone in Virginia, that crazy crackpot governor up there, is trying to take away Second Amendment, and they don't have the people trying to fight against it are limping. They hadn't got enough cheese to make flyers. We could find one of those people that are in that venue, and we could all hit them with a quarter, nickel, dime, or even more, dollars max. And so if that happened, we could also counter that. So we are a force to be reckoned with. Help me get this going. Subscribe to this channel, and then that will be the information that I'll keep you posted, and we'll be launching this app real soon. I got to run. I'm going very, very long. Sorry for that. This is Ramblin' Randy here in the deep piney woods of East Texas. I hope you found some value here. Subscribe to this, hit the notifications bell, and you'll know when I do another video. And when we start this thing rolling, which is going to be soon, I'm just like Trump. It's going to be soon. It's going to be soon. I'm fighting every one of the battles out there you can imagine. It's taken me about 5 years or more to get this thing up. But I close with this. Once a person who has been honestly mistaken all of their life learns the truth, they either cease to be honest, or they either cease to be mistaken, or they cease to be honest. What say you? Go out today, smile at a stranger to make you feel good. And remember, everything in life starts with a single thought. Have great thoughts, and you'll have a great life. This is Ramblin' Randy. We down.